In this video, I'm going to take you through how one shift in my mindset took me from zero to hero, how I went from beginner rider to being in the top 1% of stunt riders. Not only did this help me in my riding, but this also helped me in my life. In the last year, I have increased my income 5 times because of the same exact principle that I applied from stunt riding and took it into my life. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Nate. Stunt rider, content creator, inspirational speaker, been riding for the last 12 years, been a videographer in business for the last 3, and I like to make videos about the mindsets that I learned from stunt riding and take them into my life. Now listen, I was a very average guy, okay? 10 years ago, in my 20s, I was acting as an average human being, and I knew the whole entire time that I wanted more. I knew that I had more potential within me to be great. But I just didn't know what it looked like in order to do that. And that's why I'm so grateful, one, for the motorcycle. The fact that this stunt riding game crossed my path and came into my life is something that I cannot even explain to you how important it was to my life, because all of the principles that are giving me success in my life, and that's in every aspect of my life, right? My business, my family, my relationships, how I carry myself, all of these things, whether they were good or bad, I learned from the bike. So I learned from it if it did me good, and I also learned from it if it didn't work out for me and you know, it was something I took off the chin. I took those lessons and I'm applying them to my life right now. And again, this is not all about money, but this did help me increase my income 5 times in the last 2 years. You can literally change your life in an instant. And the mistake that people make, and people constantly make throughout their whole entire life, and they make on a daily basis, is that you are waiting for the world to affirm the person that you want to be. I'll say that one more time slow. You are waiting for the world to affirm the person that you want to be, not understanding the idea, one, you must become that man, that woman, before anyone is going to give you any type of recognition for it, okay? I was looked at, even in an area where everyone in stunt riding is crazy, right? People looked at me like I was crazy because of the shit that I was saying. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be the best, you know, people are going to remember me, yada, yada, yada. Whether that happens, it doesn't matter, okay? But I was saying it while I was still learning. I knew I was going to be great. Again, ended up becoming arguably top 10 street riders in the country. You know, I don't think there's any argument about that, okay? I was saying it before it was happening. Okay. And I'm going to get into the mindset with the bike and then go into how I applied it within my life, because it started there. I started realizing as I got good at the bike, and this changed my life completely in the fact that I realized I locked in. Okay. I look back on my journey, see the things that worked, see the things that didn't. And this is where I came up with this idea of you have to stop acting average. This is why you're average. And again, not a lot of people are going to be able to grasp this idea that you can literally change your life instantaneously. You can change your life in an instant if you can grasp this idea. What is this idea? As of today, I am no longer average. I'm no longer doing things that average people are doing. I'm no longer thinking how average people think. I'm no longer having conversations that average people have. I am no longer hanging around average people. How did this come about? The moment I got on the bike, I realized it was going to be important to me. But the moment that I realized that, oh my God, like this is my life. This is my thing. This is what I want to do. This is going to take me to the promised land is what I thought. The moment I decided to get so serious about it, it was very easy for me to drop bad habits. It was very easy for me to stop being an average person pretty much instantaneously. Why? One day I just had a shift and I was like, okay, if I want to be good at this, what is this going to take? If I want to be one of the best, what is this going to take? Instead of trying to figure out and reinvent the wheel like a lot of people do, you try to come up with new ideas, you sit down, you think about it, you journal it, you make a vision board, all these things, and I think all those things are fantastic. But the thing that I did that was easiest for me, I looked at what all of the worst, if you would say, people that weren't having motion, people that weren't having any type of success, people that were staying stagnant, which is something I knew I didn't want to do. I looked at them and I said, what are they doing? If I'm doing any of those activities, I'm going to eliminate them right now. Pretty easy, okay? A lot of stunt riders drink. A lot of stunt riders are smoking weed. When I first started stunt riding, I think I was still drinking, still smoking a little bit. I had like ups and downs with smoking weed, but I for sure was still drinking. And that was something at one point I had a slight problem with, I would say. And I immediately stopped doing it, like almost instantaneously. Okay, they're doing that. They don't have the results I want. If I stop doing that, I'm going to free up some type of time, some type of energy, some type of mental clarity in order to become better. That simple, okay? So this is, we think so much about how action takes a long time, right? If I'm going to stop drinking, well, I've been trying to stop drinking. It's been a while. I've been trying to stop smoking. It's been a while. This is instantaneous. If you allow this to be instantaneous, it can be instantaneous in your life, and you can see a shift in one day. And I mean that. And I'm going to get into it with the rest of my life. But as far as going through this in stunt riding, okay, again, now I'm not drinking. Now I'm not smoking. I'm not doing all these things. I always got up early or stayed up late, so I rarely have slept. But I started saying, okay, how can I treat this like a sport? I played sports in high school. I was very disciplined. I played a high level of sports. I played with high level coaches. I'm like, okay, now I've made some room, some mental room, some physical room, not being hungover, not being, I call it a high over, not being groggy from smoking and doing whatever the night before. Made some room there. Now that I've made room, how can I inject performance into my stunt riding? I'm going to start taking it serious like a sport. I'm going to start showing up when I say I'm going to show up. I'm going to start putting in the work like I want to put in the work, like I want to be there, like I want to be top 1%, like I want to be the guy, right? And again, I'm very lucky because this was extremely easy for me. I love this bike so much. I was able to make decisions and apply them that day or the next day without any fallback. Very easy. Later in my life, in my business and in my marriage and some other things, it was not as simple. But the best part about it being so easy for me on the bike is I saw my potential very quickly. You can change yourself in one day. You've already did it. You can change these things, and you can change your habits and change your mindsets and change your patterns in one day. All you have to do is apply them to the rest of your life, okay? Moving on from, stunt riding, obviously, this, came with a lot of ups and downs. This came with a lot of great opportunities, a lot of sponsorships, a lot of, helmets, jackets, handbrakes. I'm looking at the bike right now. Brakes, all these things, viral videos, what have you. Okay. It came with a lot of fruit, but the best part about the bike to me wasn't any of the accolades, wasn't any of the results, wasn't any of the achievements. It was realized potential. Okay. It was realized potential. I saw if I gave something everything I had, I could be 1%. I saw that no matter what stood in my way, I could break through it. I saw even if all the odds were stacked against me, I was in a place I wasn't supposed to be, right? Doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing something against the grain, doing something unorthodox, I would see success. That was the most important thing that I ever took out of the last 12 years of riding. Why? Because if you want to be great in your life, that's what it takes. That simple. Starting a business, unorthodox, against the grain. Don't want to go to school, unorthodox, against the grain. All these things. You're going to have to do what average people aren't doing. And you're going to have to do it long before people see the fruits of your labor. You're going to have to do and say and be the man or woman that you want to be long before the world affirms you. Because if you wait for the world to affirm you, you're going to be waiting a long time and it's not going to happen. You need to act as the person that you want to be and wait for the world to catch up. And this can start right now. Right? I am no longer average. Literally simply look in your environment. It will tell you if you're average or not. If you look around and you see the people that you're surrounded by, whether that be at your job, whether that be your friends, anywhere you go, you are around like-minded, like-energied, right? People that have the same energy as you. You are around people that you are vibrating with. That is a very, very harsh reality. But it can be the best part because then you can literally easily see they're doing that. Okay, not doing that anymore. They're doing this. Okay, cool. Not doing that anymore either. And this again can happen instantaneously. And I had a very hard time applying this to other areas of my life. But again, the best part about it was that even though it was a battle, which it was, and that's why I'm trying to display this to you guys, is it doesn't have to be a battle. I allowed it to be a battle in my life, in my business, and in my marriage, because I refused to just grasp an idea that I already knew worked. This can happen instantaneously. I'm no longer average. I'm no longer a slave to this. I am free. Now I can be the man that I want to be today in this moment. For some reason, I had a lot of shit that I couldn't get over that I kept allowing to pop up in my life. One of them is going to be limiting beliefs in my business and in my money. And the other one, again, in my relationship. I've been around average relationships. My parents had average relationships. They divorced. My parents had an average relationship. They divorced. Kept allowing myself to be pulled into average habits, average mindsets, average thinking in these areas that I knew I wanted to excel at, but I couldn't get a hold of the idea. Bro, you already did this. You already showed that this can be an instantaneous thing. Why is it that this other thing is stopping you right now? Because you have this mindset around it that it's different. Understand this. Everything in life is a mirror. The thing that stands before you is not even the thing that stands before you. It is what is being triggered in your mind and then what's being reflected outward. Is it a limiting belief? It's not that, jumping over the handlebars is scary and I have fear, and then stepping on stage to do my keynote is different. It's that it's triggering fear. It's exactly the same. Bro, you jump over the handlebars going 70 miles an hour on the highway. You can't stand in front of people and talk. It's a mirror. It's fear, okay? Limiting beliefs. Oh, I came from this type of relationship. This is what I saw. This is what I have going on in my life. This is what I can offer in a romantic relationship. No, okay? Something hard, the bike, done, dusted, 1%. Do the same thing here, okay? I came from, you should just be a good boy and sit down and shut up, not do the riding. I broke through that idea that people had of me, okay? I broke through that idea that I had of myself in my relationship. I need to break through this idea that I have of myself that, this is kind of just what you get from me. I'm always going to be a cheater. I'm always going to be a liar. I'm always going to do these things. Accept me and love me for who I am. No, not valid. That's not how this shit works. Have you been and have you done great things? Yes. Apply them to this area of life. It can happen instantaneously. And then to get on to my business, okay? As you guys have seen, I've been doing content for a very long time. I've been posting videos on Instagram for a very long time, okay? Went viral, did the thing, 100K followers, been doing YouTube videos. I had the hardest time for some reason believing that anybody would pay me for my skill set. I don't know why, okay? I literally still to this day cannot put my finger on the idea and why I always believe, well, Yeah, I'm good at it, but why would anybody want to pay me? Okay. What does this look like? What's business structure? How to do all these things? Such a limited mindset, such limiting beliefs around the idea. Again, this is where I came from. Nobody in my family is entrepreneurs. I don't know how to do this, right? I failed to grasp the same idea that I already saw for myself. I saw that my life could change instantly. I saw that my mindset could shift instantly. I stayed average. This is what average people think. Oh yeah, this is where I came from. I can't do it. Average people think like that. You are not average, bro. Stop acting like it. None of us are average. We are created in uniqueness. You are meant to do what you are meant to do. The way will be made for you. The moment you step into your greatness, the moment you step into your calling, the moment you step into your gift, the way moves for you. All the obstacles move out of the way if you can think that way. And this will instantly change your life. I am no longer average. I am stepping into my greatness. I am who God called me to be today. It doesn't take me time to work up there. It doesn't take me hiccups, bumps in the road, all these things. It took me a couple years, but I changed. No, your life changes today. I had a hard time thinking that anybody would pay me for my skill set. Why? The proof is in the pudding. I've already showed I can do it. I did it for myself. Most people will go out and sell something that they can't do, figure out how to do it along the way, and then keep selling it. I already had proof. I already did it for myself. Again, went viral, did 10 million views, 100,000 followers on Instagram. Still couldn't get past these. One, opening the business in general. I did videography for 8 years before I opened my business. Don't know why. Then started at entry-level pricing, which my skill set was high above, right? But I couldn't get past the limiting belief of selling the value, right? Selling the idea that I've already done this. I already have social proof. I can do the same exact thing for you. Couldn't get past that idea. And then as my business started to get a little bit of motion and started to pick up a little bit, I started to gain more confidence. But for some reason, I needed the evidence because it was a new field. And again, I want to cut this time in half, or cut this time down for you guys to understand you don't need the evidence. Of course, you need the skill set. I don't believe in selling something that you can't do, whatever it is that you do. But you don't need all this physical proof and physical evidence to understand that you can do it. If you have something else in your life that you've already conquered, example for me, the bike, that's the evidence right there. Now we're stepping into something different, and all we have to do is apply the same principle and the same mindset and the same idea that my life can change right now. Okay, so I'm going to wrap it up here with the quick story of how I 5X my income. 3 or 4 years ago, I was making around $3,000 a month with about $5,000 a month in expenses. I don't know how I made it by. I spent a lot of money on credit cards, and my wife and I figured it out. But I started my business. First year, I made 6 figures. Why? The mindset shift. I am no longer fucking average, bro. I'm no longer fucking average. I'm not working this bullshit job anymore. I am too great, bro. I came from nothing on this fucking bike. Nothing. And built it all the way up to where it is today. Built the skill, the confidence, everything, the aura, the energy, all the way up until it is today. We are not compartmentalizing things anymore. I'm not just great on the bike. I'm not just a savage on the bike. I'm savage in every single fucking area of my life. I'm taking my power right now. I quit my job, and again, in the first year, I made 6 figures. Unfucking believable. The chains were broken. Now, how did I go from 3K a month to 8K a month in that first year? But not how did I go from 8K a month to 20K a month? Scripture. Do you see a man skillful in his work? He will stand before kings. He will not stand among average men. Do you see a man? Do you see a man competent in his work. He will stand before kings. He will not stand before average men. The only thing that I did to increase my income was increase my income. I raised my price. The biggest mental battle that I had in my business was pricing for the last 3 years. And one day, instantaneously, I over doubled my income because I decided to raise my prices. Why? Because of that scripture. This book is already written about my life. This power that I see right here, I'm allowed to tap into for free. Not only am I allowed to tap into it for free, God wants me to tap into it for free. Okay? So there is proof right there in my business and in my journey on the bike, how you can change your life in one day instantaneously if you choose so. I'm no longer average. I'm not waiting for the world to tell me I'm great. I'm not waiting for all my results to catch up. I'm going to be the man that I want to be today, and the fruits are going to come.